just got back from dropping off the donor pickup for this thing, but I realized that in the last video I didn't really explain what was wrong with the other cylinder head. So I'm gonna show you guys that real quick, and then we're gonna get that head pulled, or get a head pulled off that and see if there's anything wrong with it. If you look at this head, you'll notice that all of these seats are pretty level, not too deep in there or anything. And then this one has a lip, and it's like, looks like it's almost recessed down in there. Now, I didn't put the valves in it and check the height to see if it was okay, because the other problem, if you look here, there's like almost no play for your valve stem, which is good. And you put this in, that valve guide is totally wiped. So it needs a valve guide, probably a seat. No good. I don't have time to wait for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the intake and the cylinder heads off of this thing and see if we can salvage one. This idea was great in theory, but in execution, not great. So let me just stick a valve in, just a random valve. So put that in there. You can see this valve sits pretty flush, or maybe you can't, I don't know. So it's pretty flush, that's how it should sit. Check out these exhaust valves. It's like totally hammered, so bad. So it's so bad that this spring is loose. So this head's in much worse shape than the one I have. I'm gonna call the machine shop and see if they can change out a guide for me. Only thing I can do. It's always an adventure out here. Heading to Great Falls for a banquet tonight, and got a huge hole in the tire. So we're gonna change a tire, and we have a donut. So we're gonna see if we make it, you know, 90 miles on a donut. Ah, crap. So since the 390 head's in the shop, I only have a couple days here before going on a little vacation, so I don't want to start any big projects, but got a little toy outside that I picked up recently. Just needs a little love. 6x6 only works in low gear, so also, not sure if you can hear it, don't know how you couldn't. It kind of runs like shit. So I'm gonna get it in here and see if I can fix it. Keep the door open, it's pretty bad out there, right in here. So, it's a 96, I think, Polaris 6x6. If you couldn't tell, the exhaust is like totally not attached to the engine. And then, like I said, it only goes in a low gear. For some reason, high and reverse do not work. So, I gotta get that transmission yarded out of there. We'll pull it apart. We'll see if the parts in the one that I have under the workbench will work. If not, I got another machine outside I can tear the trans out of. And then we'll put it back together and see if it works. I'm also going to charge up that battery and see if it's by any chance good. I doubt it. But yeah, air up this flat tire that I aired up a week ago. So the way these Polarises work, they use a snowmobile clutch. And the back half just pops right off. You take the bolt out, it comes right off. Take the belt off, and you've got your transmission input shaft. This one sounds a little dry, and the bearing doesn't sound great. No play really, but anyway. And then you've got this clutch. A lot of people don't know how to take this off. I made myself a tool. They make this tool, but I made my own on the lathe. And you just put it in, and it threads right into that clutch. either gonna come loose or it's gonna wreck my tool I made. Got it. So that just threads in and then it pushes off against the crankshaft here. That was a little bit of a battle, but I finally got the transmission out. So now I'm gonna go ahead and split the case apart, find out what's broken inside there, and then we'll see if I have the parts or if I have to dig the other transmission out. All I need to do is find one of these gears and one of these clutch forks, because this one is snapped clean off. That's the fork I need. So I'm going to pull apart my other trans and see if it's the same stuff in there. If not, I'll have to rip one out of another machine. Unfortunately, the spare trans that I just have under the workshop or workbench, it's totally different gears and it's a totally different transmission. I was really hoping I might be able to steal some parts out of it, but no such luck. Fortunately, there's a giant window in the side of it where a chain broke and blew a hole in it. So I didn't actually have to take it apart to find out it had the wrong stuff. Now I have brought this other machine inside, which I got for free with this one. So transmission's already halfway out. They were started on it, didn't get it finished. I'm gonna get it yarded out of there and we'll steal some parts out of it, hopefully, if they're not bad. Got back from a little weekend trip with the wife to Seattle. Got back yesterday and I have the parts I need to put this thing back together. So I had one bad seal. I didn't want to replace all three because I'm cheap. I think 30 bucks a piece, so we're gonna replace the one that's bad. And some springs for the exhaust and the exhaust gasket, so hopefully we can ride this thing without blowing our eardrums out. So I got the transmission out of the four-wheeler, transmission out of the 6x6, put some parts together, did some combining and modulating and discombobulating, and now we have a working, functioning transmission. So I am going to get the housings cleaned up, and I've got to weld this piece back in because I'm an idiot. I tried to take it out and it broke. That little weld, it'll be fine, it's just for the tack. Get it all cleaned up and put it together, and we should be able to throw this thing back together and we'll have all the gears. Just finished putting this transmission back together. Everything's good, bearings feel good, all the gears shift, should be perfect. So I forgot to mention, I think I did say that it was like $57 worth of parts, and then I have $8 into a quart of 30 weight oil to dump into it, which I only need, you know, a quarter of a quart. But so for like 65 bucks, I got a fully rebuilt transmission. Not bad. I say fully rebuilt. I didn't replace a single bearing. That's all right. Can't worry about those kind of things. As long as it doesn't leak and I have gears, happy. The 6x6 is all put back together. It looks great, other than the seat. But the last thing I'm going to do before I take this thing out for a rip is put some certified Circle P headlights on it so that I can see if it's dark out. Just got these headlights wired in, and as soon as I finished wiring them in, I looked up and was like, oh, dude, this thing has a headlight. It doesn't work. I imagine I could put a bulb in it and make it work. It's also kind of blocked by this sketchy winch, so now we have... I should also mention, when I got the battery charged, I tested out the winch and it works. It was hanging out about 2 feet. I was able to run it in. Everything seems to be good, which is great because it came with this Polaris snowplow. It's like a 60-inch wide, I think. Quick connect, and it's got the loop, so I can just hook onto the winch and lift it up and down. And it'll be great for plowing snow this year. I won't have to fire up the tractor every time that the road grader comes and blocks the driveway with a big drift of snow. It's time for the maiden voyage. Let's see if it'll fire up. And I say maiden maiden voyage with high gear and reverse. We'll see if it fires up and how it does. I know what's wrong with it. I ain't got no gas in it. Crap. Almost always fill your gas tank. I guess we'll walk back and get some gas. Well, we made it pretty far. Got the gas. Super happy, got the 6x6 put back together. Super budget. I didn't want to put any money into it. I didn't know if it was worth it. Now I'm gonna get some chains for it, fix the coolant overflow because there's a huge hole in it. And the steering, super sketchy. Yeah, I don't know if you could see when I was going 45 miles an hour, but it's like, I thought we were gonna die, but we survived. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.